and welcome to class. We're about to break down a whole salmon here. And this is a farm-raised salmon that I have with me. I got it at the market this morning. It's nice and fresh. How do I know it's fresh? The flesh is nice and firm. The gills are nice and red. And it's in very, very good shape. There is no smell. It smells like the ocean, and those are the signs of being fresh. So, how I'm going to butcher that is very easy. I'm going to take my knife, I'm going to cut by the head, go down the spine, all the way down. Then I will go on the other side of the salmon by the belly and take it down from there too. After that, we'll trim a little bit on the belly of the salmon, and we'll scrap the bones to make sure we use everything from that fish. Everything is usable, besides I will save the head. But everything we want to try to utilize, so you know, when we're done cleaning it, we want to make sure that with a spoon we'll scrap everything. I will show you that as we go. Okay, so first thing I'm going to cut by the head right here. And what I'm going to try to do after is to stay as close as possible to the bone. For that I'm going to use a fillet knife here, a beautiful fillet knife. You can call them also a carving knife, but that's a nice fillet knife. The blade is flexible, so it helps me to stay nice and close to the bones. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to cut by the head. One cut this way. And now I'm going to put the knife here, and I'm going to do a little cut, turning the knife this way. I just made a little opening right here. I'm on the spine, and now I'm going to cut all the way down. Sometime on fish, before you butcher them too, you like to cut the fins off, do things like that. For a salmon, I don't like cutting them off. They actually help me and guide myself when it's time to fillet it. Okay, so now knives on that opening. I'm going to make a long incision going all the way down. I want to make sure I stay on the bone. How do I know I'm on the bone? I can hear those little bones crack under the knife. And I run it this way like that. Now I'm going to go, like I said, on the other side of the belly. And now I'm trying to cut above those belly bones here, the rib cage we could call it too. So I'm cutting with a knife. I'm going right, I'm staying on top of that rib cage, and I'm going down like that. Now you'll see my knife is going to come out right here. The blade is out. One last stroke. This way. Now I can almost just peel it away. That's one side. It's the salmon right here. So now for the other side, I'm going to show you a different technique that works very well too. See here, as I cut it, right here I have pin bone that are left right here. What I'm going to try to do here is to leave those pin bone behind. I did that technique a couple times before. It takes a little longer, but what's nice is you remove the whole bone at one time. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to do the incision right here again. And now I'm just going to cut lightly down, trying not to cut through those pin bones that I want to leave behind. So I really went and cut that far deep into my fish here, because the pin bone, they're connected to those ribcage bone here. And what I'm trying to do is just to cut very close to them, so then I might be able just to pull that whole skeleton, that whole bone from the salmon. Okay. So I did one side like that. Now I'm going to do the other side by the belly bone. First I'm going to cut around the head though. Just like that. So now, you see all the bones under that skin here. Those are the bones from your belly. I'm going to get under them, starting here, and I'm going to cut following the rib cage this way. Okay? Just like that. It's very easy. Okay? I'm going to turn that salmon the other way around so it's easier for me to work on those bones here. Just get it this way. Okay. Now we're going to finish it by the tail. Oopsie. Voilà. Okay, so I went on both sides here, and now what I should be able to do is if I take the head like that, by the head, and now I'm just going to pull and look at all those pin bones that came out at the same time, and I can keep going here. And here we have it. You fillet that salmon, and we have most of the pin bone still connected to that skeleton here. I did left some of them behind right here, so that's okay. I'll show you how we remove those. You use a squeezer. You could have a little bit of water by you to rinse the squeezer as you remove the bone, but to remove those pin bone now, you will just grab them and remove them like that. So I left some. I left one here, and there's some left right here too. So see what I did? I took my knife and I scrape it like this. It exposes the bone. It's easier after to remove it. I'll show you on that one. They're right here. You go like that to expose them. Okay, and then again after, with your tweezer, you just remove them one by one this way. Oops. Like that. Okay, so now our fish is not completely clean. We still have to trim a little bit from it. See, there's part of the fin that's inside here into the fish that we need to remove. So I'm going to take my knife, and the knife is going to be on the bias and goes right under it here to trim that part away. Just like that. And then here again, this is meat. So that meat, you don't want to waste it. You can scrape it off and can be used in many other preparation. You know, we can make mousse with that. We can puree it and do a fish mousseline. We can make also some salads. You could do, there's a lot that can be done. A little salmon tartare. So again, I'll show you. You cut like that, cut around, and you remove that scrap to part of the belly. Then you have a fish that be almost ready to be served. I'm going to trim a little bit more here. And here I made a beautiful fillet of salmon. Check if there's no scales left on it. Now that could be portioned the way you want. It could also be cooked whole like that, roasted in your oven. Many things, again, you can do. To remove the flesh from the skin, I take my knife, and I'm going to do an incision. Right here, there's a little bit of a, it's not a bone, it's like cartilage, so I'm going to cut by it. And here I remove a piece of the belly that I'm going to use. A lot of fat in the belly, so this is why it's great. You have it a lot in sushi. Also, if you make a tuna, or I'm sorry, a salmon tartare, those are great part to use for that. See? Just cut it off like that, so you don't waste anything. That's very, very important. And voila, and this is how you clean your fish. I'm going to make that other side right here. Again, that's the belly that I'm going to trim. I take my knife, I'm going to cut on a curve like that to follow the shape of the fish. Here's the belly. Here you have a pin bone. I show you, you take your knife, you run it on top, and then you grab your pin bone. Now you have the other technique, but if you practice with it, you would not have to remove any pin bone at the end, because they'll be left behind onto the skeleton. So also with a spoon you can scrap those bones. And look, I'm getting all that flesh off here. All that is good. You scrap everything. It's very hard to get all that with a knife. You can, but it's pretty hard. And we scrap all of it here. Same on the other side. Voila, it's all cleaned up. Okay. Now, again, I'll take my knife and I scrap this off. And here, I can feed a good 3 people with those scraps here. No problem. Go like that. These little pieces, I go through them. Imagine some pasta here. You just cut that in all little small pieces. You saute it. You add some little herbs, little garlic, and then you toss all that in some pasta. It's a beautiful thing. So here it is. This is how you clean up salmon. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I see you next class. Bye-bye.